Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to create a personal AI trainer. We will use the pose estimation running on CPU to find the correct points, and using these points, we will get the desired angles. Then based on these angles, we can find many gestures including the number of bicep curls. We will write the code in a way that you will be able to find angles between any 3 points with just a single line of code. If you like to create real-world computer vision apps, do check out my premium course in which we learn how to create apps such as object detection, augmented reality, document scanner, and a lot more. The link is in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we are in our Python project, and you can see that this is the exact same one that we used in our previous video. So we started off with the bare minimum code. So you can see this is all of the bare minimum code that we require to run our pose estimation. And then we created a module out of this. So this is that module which allows us to create these projects very quickly. So today will be one of these examples where we create a project very rapidly. So then here is our awesome project. So this was the demo of how you can actually utilize this to run your module. So these were the things, or these were the files that we created last time. So if you haven't checked that video, I highly recommend that you do go through that video before you continue here. Now today we are going to do the AI trainer. So we have a new folder here called the AI trainer. Let's open that up and let's check out the contents. So here we have a test image. So basically the idea is that we want to find the angle of any 3 given points. So point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3. So this is actually explained here in the summary. So what we will be doing is we will be using these 3 points, and based on these 3 points we are going to find the angle between these 2 lines. So that will tell us how much angle we are at, and based on that we can do some calculations for the gestures or for the posture, so that we can tell the person, okay, you have done this many curls. So what we will be doing is we will be counting the number of curls that a person has done. You can apply it to other techniques as well to see the posture, whether they are using correct ones for yoga or something like that. So the main idea is that we will do this in 2 steps. The first one will be to find the angles. So we will create a method where we can input any 3 points and it will give us the angle of these 3 points. So this way we do not have to worry about getting other angles. For example, if I want for the leg, I will have that information as well. If I want for the arm and the shoulder, I can have that information as well. For the elbow and the wrist, I can have that. So with one single line of code, I will be able to have all of these different angles. So I will just have to specify the landmark number. For example, for this arm, it is 11, 13, and 15. So I can say 11, 13, 15, and it will give me that one. If I say 12, 14, and 16, it will give me for this one. So for this one. So this is the idea that we will create this method. And the second part is where we will try to find the angle. And we will have the angle. And based on that angle, we will see how many curls did the person do. So this is our idea. So we will start off with, this is by the way the video. Let me bring it here. So this is the one we will be using. Again, both of these images and videos I got from pexels.com. So you can check it from there, or you can find these documents in my website. So you will find this folder over there. So what we will do is we will right click and we will create a new file. And we are going to call this, let's say, our AI trainer project. So the first thing we will do, we will import our packages. So we will write here import CV2, then import numpy as np. And what else do we need? We need time. So we will import that. So all of these packages we have imported earlier. So if you are new and you haven't seen the previous video, you can go to settings, Python interpreter, and you can add, and here you can write OpenCV-Python, and you can hit install, and then you can write media pipe, and there you can install. So these are the two libraries that are the most important ones. Okay, so once we have that, we are going to import our image and the video. So here you can see we have the image, not this one, the test image and the video. So we will be using the test image at first for the angles, and once we have that, then we will use the video for the curls. Now we will write the while loop anyway, so that we don't have to switch at the end. We just can remove one line and it will convert to video. So we will write here first that we have a video capture device. So we will write here cv2.video capture, and we will say this is the AI trainer slash, what is it, girls.mp4, and then we will say while true we are going to check the success and the image, and we will say cap.read, and then we will say cv2.imshow. We will write here image, and then we will write image, and cv2.wait key and delay of 1. So if we run this, we should get our video running. So let's run that, and there you go. So as you can see, this is quite a big video. It's quite huge. We can resize it. We can write here image is equals to cv2.resize, and we want to give it a specific one. So we will write here 1280 by 720. So let's try that, and there you go. So now this is good, and we are ready for the curls part. But as I mentioned before, we are going to use the image first, and later on we are going to use this. So we are going to comment this, and here instead we are going to write image is equals to cv2.imRead, and then we can read our image. So it will be AI trainer slash, what is it, test.jpg. So we can actually put it outside. So let's run that, and there you go. So we are getting our image. So we will check the angle of this, and we will see how we can calculate that. Okay, so that is good. Now we need to find our pose. So to find the pose, what we have to do is we have to import our pose module. So here is our pose module that we did in our earlier video. So here we have the class pose detector. We are going to use that to create an object. Once we have the object, we can use find pose to find the pose, and then find position to get all the data in that list. So here we are going to say detector, the detector is equals to, oh, I didn't import, forgot to import. So import pose module as pm, and then we can write here pm dot pose detector, and we do not need to give any inputs at this point. So then we can come down here and we can write here that detector dot find pose. And do we need to input anything? We need to input the image, and then we need to tell whether we want to draw or not. So by default it's true, so we will draw. And what else? So do we need anything back? No, not really. We can, yeah, we need the image back. So let's run that, and there you go. So now you can see Okay, this is not good. We need to put it inside so that it's detecting again and again. There you go. So now you can see it is detecting the pose, and now we can try to find the angle. But how do we get the landmark values? So we can use the get position. So we will write here lm list is equals to detector dot get position. Wait, why is it not showing? Detector dot, is it, it's find position. Okay, so find position, and then we will write image, and we don't want to draw, so we will write here false. I think there are only 2 arguments, so we can directly write false. Yeah, so that's fine. So let's run that. Actually, we need to print to see if we are getting anything. lm list, and let's do that. And there you go. So this is our list, and we can see we have all these 32 points. So that is good. Okay, so now we can, first of all, we need to make sure that we have a list where we have the pose detected, otherwise it will give us an error. So we can write here the length of our lm list is not equals to 0. Then we are going to do something magical. So what is the magic that we are going to do? So now here the thing is that we can write the code here, but then it will be for this project only. We can write here pass for now. So that will be for this project only, but we don't want to do that. We want to enhance our pose module by adding a method to it. So this pose class, which is the pose detector, it will have another method that will allow us to get the angle of any 3 landmarks. So instead of giving the points, for example 485 and 281, what we will do is we will say we want to find the points between 3, 4 and 5. And because it already has this method and it already has this list, we will make it an instant list so that it is for that particular object. So then we will not have to even input the point value. We just have to input the number. So we need to know which landmark numbers we are talking about. So how can we do that? Let's start by writing our code. So the first thing we will do is we will create a new method. We will call it find angle, or angles. No, find the angle because it's just one angle. Then we will give in our image. The image is for drawing, so we will input that, and then we will need the 3 points. So we will call it P1, P2 and P3. So these are the 3 point landmarks that we need, and then we can have the flag for drawing as always. So we will keep it as true. Okay, so now as I said, instead of giving in the points, we are just using the values. So we are using value number 4, value number 3. You can call them index number 2, 3, 4. So these are basically index values. So what we need to do is we need to get the values of the points based on our index value. So how can we do that? So in the find position, you can see we have the LM list. So what we can do is here we can send this LM list back again to our object, but that is not a good way to do it because we already have it. We can just use it internally. So we can write here self dot, and now this is part of that object. So we will write here self dot, and we will write here self dot. So now what we can do is we can write here that our x1 and x1 and y1 is equals to self dot lm list at point number 1. So let's say we want landmark number 3. So that will give us this landmark number 3. But the thing is, it has 3 things inside. It has number 3 it has 485 and 281. So what we can do is we can slice it. So here we will write, we need from point number 1 till the end. So it will take this and this, and it will ignore this. So then it will store it in x1 and in y1. You can also do it like this. So you can ignore the first one, and you can remove this one, and you can ignore the first one, and you can take just the last two. But let's do the first method. Let's do it like this. And then we are going to write here x2, y2, and then x3 and y3. And here we are going to write point number 2 and point number 3. Now, to make sure we are getting the correct points, we are going to draw. So here we will write if draw. We are going to write a circle. So let's just copy because we are lazy. And we will just change this to x1 and x2. Okay, so yeah, that should be good. We can copy this and we can make it wait, what did I do? x1, x2. Why did I do x1, x2? This should be y1. I always make that mistake. y2, x2, and then y2, and then x3, and then y3. Okay, so that should give us, but we didn't call it, so we need to call it here. So we are going to write that detector dot get angle or find angle, and we will give in our image. So now we need to give in the points. So if we go to media pipe and we check for the points, you can see that we want point number 11, 13, and 15, and then 12, 14, and 16. So based on if we want right or left. So the left one is the odd one. So 11, 13, and 15 is the left one. So here I think the right one is visible, so we will use the right one. So 12, 14, and 16, and the draw we will keep it as true. So now let's run this and see what happens. And there you go. So now you can see these have turned blue. So we know that these are the ones that we are using. Should we decorate it more or should we do it later? Let's do it now. So what we can do is we can make it look a little bit nicer, just to make sure that we are using these correct points, because at some point we are going to remove all the other the detection, the pose estimates. So here we are going to create a bigger circle, and let's put it as 15, and let's put this as 10, and we will not fill it, and we will put the value of 2 here. And for the color, let's put it as red. So here we are going to write 255, and we are going to write here all of these as red. Yeah, and then what else? So we will copy this, we'll paste it here and paste it here. We'll make it 2 and 2, and then 3 and 3. So let's try that. There you go. Oh, we forgot to remove the fill. No, we did remove the fill. We didn't do the size. We forgot to change the size. Okay. There you go. So these are the 3 points. And what else? We can do the line as well. So let's do the line before that, because the circles we want to draw on the line. So we will write here cv2.line, and the first line will be on the image, and we will have 2 points, and then we will put the color of white so it's really visible, and then we will put the thickness of 3. So here our first points will be x1 and y1, and then the second one will be x2 and y2. We will copy this, and here we will have, what happened there? Here we will have x3. So 2 will be common for both of them. 1 and 3 will be changing. So let's try this. Nothing happens. Why didn't anything happen? Because I put this in the wrong place. This should be outside. Okay. There you go. So now we have the white line. And so now we can go back and we can make this false, so that we can just focus on these 3 points and the rest will be gone. So there you go. So now we have these 3 points and we want to know the angle between these points. So we will go back to our module, and here now we need to find the angle. So the angle finding is not actually hard. So here we can write, for example, get the landmarks, and here we are going to write calculate the angle, and then here we will write draw. Well, you know, it's written draw here and we're writing draw here. Very redundant. But anyways, so we will write here angle is equals to, we are going to use math. So we will write here import math. So this is just basic trigonometry, so we don't have to worry too much about this. So what we can do is we can write here math dot tan 2, sorry, a tan 2, and then we have to give in y3 minus y2, and then x3 minus x2. Then we will subtract, and we will write here math dot a tan 2, and then we will write y1 minus y2, and then we will write x1 minus x2. So again, I'm missing some brackets, so that should be good. So this will give us our angle in radians, so we can convert it into degrees. So math dot degrees, and there you go. So if you have 3 points and you want to find the angle between the 2 lines, this is the method, this is the equation that you can use. So here we can simply write print angle, and we can see what exactly is our angle. Okay. What happened there? So there's a mistake for sure. It's the brackets. Yeah, this is extra. So yeah, I put 1 extra. My bad. Okay, so here we are getting our angle 87, which makes sense. Like, it is almost 90 degrees. You can see that. So 87.3, it's not bad. So what we can do is we can put this on the actual text or the actual image so that we can see. So we can write here cv2 dot put text, and we will write image, and we will write the angle, but let's convert it into integer, and then we will convert it into string, otherwise it will not accept. And then we will write here the value, so the position. So here we will write x2. So this is the center point. So we have x1 and x2, these are the further points, and x2 is the middle point. So we want to write the value near the middle point. So we are using x2, but we don't want to write it exactly at that position. So we can subtract like 20 from it, and then we can write y2, and we can, let's say, add 50 to it. So we can change these values if we are not satisfied. Okay, then we can write cv2 dot font. Let's pick the plain one, and then we will write the scale and the color. So color, let's put purple, and then we will write the thickness. So let's run that. There you go. So we are getting 88, 87. So that's good. The X is bad. So let's do, we did minus, right? So minus 50, let's say. Yeah, it's better now. Maybe let's convert this into blue. That's more visible. No, the background is a little bit black, so it's not that visible. Maybe red will be more visible, or green. Yeah, red is not bad. So 88 degrees is what we are getting. And sometimes what happens is that we get a negative value. So for that case, we can write here. Should we actually, let's remove this. And for those cases, we can write if our angle is less than 0, then we will say our angle, we want to add 360 to it. So 360 minus whatever the value will be. So that will solve that problem. So now what we can do is we can use any 3 points to find our angle. So let's say I want for, this is for the right one. So we can say here right arm, let's say. And then I can do the exact same thing with just one single line of code. I can write here left arm, and I will just change the values. 11, 13, and 15. And now you will see it will do for both of them. And that is pretty amazing. So it is telling the angle for both of them at the same time. So the last, the one that is hidden is not very clear, so you cannot rely on that angle. But the one that is here is quite good. So we can remove this. So now we can try this on our video. So for the video, as I mentioned, we want to do it on the left arm rather than the right. And by the way, you can do it on the legs as well. So it's up to you now which 3 points you want to take. For example, you can take 23, 25, and 27. So it will tell you the angle between these two lines. Then you can use 24, 26, 28. It will tell you the angle between these. So it is up to you which ones you want to use for your own project. But for now, we will use the left arm for the bicep curls. So now we will remove this. We will uncomment this and we will remove the image part. And let's try to see if we get the angle. There you go. So now we are getting our angle. And as you can see, probably it's going to negative and all. So that's why it's giving this value. So what we can do is we can find the minimum and the maximum. And based on that, we can check if it has reached that point or not. So let's try to figure out the minimum and maximum. Now, the good thing is if you click on the window, it will stop. So we can check our values very easily. So here you can see it's 338, but that's not the last one. So here I saw 190 something. Yeah, 180 probably. Or let's say 200. Yeah, 200 is not bad. Or just to be on the safe side, we can keep it a little bit higher, like 220 or something like that, so that it goes to 0 easily. And then over here, we can see it goes to 300 something. So 340, but again, might not go always there. So 330 maybe, 20 or 310. I can see it goes again and again to 328. So it went to 340, 340. Oh, it's going to 40. Now it's 28, 27, 29. Okay, so to be on the safe side, we can say that it is 20, right? So, or we can say 15. So what we can do is we can convert our range. We want it from 0 to 100. We want to know how much curl we are at. So the percentage of curl, so at the 0 point or at the 100% point. So what we will do is we will create a percentage and we will say that, did we import numpy? Yes. So we will use numpy to convert our range. So we will say numpy dot interp, and then we will give in our angle, not range, angle. Oh, we didn't get it back, that's why it's saying this. Angle is equals to, so I think I forgot to return. Yeah, so we need to return angle, so that will return our angle over here, and then we can use this here. Angle is equals to what else do we need? So we need the first range, so our range will be, let's say, 210 to 310, let's say, and we want to convert it into 0 to 100. So this is already 100, so we can easily just subtract. But if we had a difficult range, you can use this method. So that should be good. So let's print out this value, and we will print out the angle. Not the angle, the percentage. So, or we can print the angle and the percentage. That will be good to see. Are we printing anything here? No. Okay, that's good. So we can run this. So here we can see. So it's 0 going 100%, then going back to 0, then to 100%, going to 0, 100, 0. Excellent. So now we can see that we are getting the correct values. So we should not face any issues because we have taken quite safe values. If you go too far, you might not get good results. So you have to check the trade-off between accuracy and taking the risks of getting error. Okay, so then we are going to check when are we reaching the first curl, when are we reaching the second. We need to count. So here we are going to go up and we are going to define two things. The first one will be count, which will be 0, and the other one will be direction, which will be 0. Now we will have two directions, direction number 0 and direction number 1. Direction number 0 will be when it is going up, and direction number 1 will be when it's going down. So we will consider a full curl only if it does both of these. So it goes up and then it goes down to 0. So from 0 to 100 and 100 to 0. So if we get that, then we will consider it as first curl. So we could do the other way around, but I want to keep it like this, where we have the complete curl if we go back and forth the whole thing. So we are going to write here that we want to check for the dumbbell curls. Okay, so then we are going to write here that if our percentage is equals to 100, and then we are going to check if our direction is equals to 0. So this is the first direction, it means we are going up. Now you might say, why didn't you just write and here if percentage is 100 and if direction is 0? I will tell you why later. There's the reason. So then we are going to say count plus equals 0.5. So we will add 0.5 to the count. So if it's going up and it has reached 100%, it will be 0.5, and then it's going down and it reaches 0, then it will be 0.5. So that will be a complete curl. So what I can do now is I can change the direction. So direction is equals to 1, and then I can check here that if my percentage is equals to 0 and my direction is equals to 1, then I will write count is equals to plus is equals to 0.5. So the same thing that we did earlier, and then we will make the direction 1. No, we will make the direction 0. Okay, so this will keep adding to our count, and this way we will know which direction we are moving and how many counts did we have so far. So here we can remove this and we can simply print the count. So we can write here print count, and let's see what do we get. So 0.5 down 1, 1.5 down 2, 2.5 down 3, 3.5 down 4. So excellent. So if you okay, let's just display it first and then I can discuss. So we can display it like this, cv2 dot put text, and we can write here image, and we can write our string. So we can write inside that integer. So if you want to directly show the decimal places, so if you want to show the 0.5 count as well, then you can keep it like this. So you can write simply count, but I don't like that. Or let's try it now. I will show you and then we will change it. And then we will write here, let's say 50 and 100. And then we will write cv2 dot font. Let's put the plain one, 15. And then we will put 255, 0, 0, and then 25. Actually, these are very big values. We will put big values later on, but for now we just want to see if we are getting the output properly. Okay, so what is the problem? It's not callable. Is that the issue? Oh, okay, I forgot to write comma. Okay, so here we are getting 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. That is good. So what I was saying is that if you don't want that, you can simply write here int, and then you can put it like that. So if we see that now, it's 0, it becomes 1, 2, 3. So it's up to you which one do you prefer. Okay, so now that we have this, we can make it a little more appealing. So what we can do is we can first of all add our FPS. So we didn't add that earlier, so we can add it now. So we can write here ctime is equals to time dot time, and then we can write FPS is equals to 1 divided by current time minus the previous time, and then we will write our previous time is equals to current time, and then we will put the text. So we can copy this and we can paste it here, and then we can change it to FPS. So that should be good. Now we need to put previous time as 0 over here. Okay, so that will give us the time, and we can comment this to check the FPS. So there you go. So we are getting good FPS. Now this video is 1080p and we are reducing the size of it, and that's why it's giving a lower frame rate. Otherwise you will have a better frame rate if you because here we are resizing. So if you directly use maybe this size or even lower, you will get higher frame rate. Okay, so then what we can do is we can put our the number of count in a box. So let's create a box. So I have already checked the values of this box, so I will directly input it. So we will write here cv2.rectangle, and we will put in our image, and we will put in 0 for 50, and then 250 and 720. So this is for a 1280 by 720, which is HD image. So it is for that. So 255 and 0, and then cv2 dot filled. So this will give us a green box, and what we can do is we can uncomment this and we can format it, and then here we need to change the value. Let's put it as 45 and 670. So let's run that. There you go. Okay, we need to change the size of this. So 15 and 25. Okay. So there you go. So now we are getting this nice and big, so we can see what is happening. That is quite good. And it is giving us the angle. Do we need the angle? No, I don't like the angle. Let's remove the angle from here. So let's run it again. There you go. So now we are getting without the angle, so it looks good. Now what else can we do? Okay, let's put the bar. So if you remember, we did it in one of the other videos for the volume gesture control, so you can check that out as well. It was to control the volume of a computer using your hand gestures. So we use the bar in that one as well. So here we are going to use the bar again. So for the bar, first of all, we need some values. So we will write here bar is equals to np.interp, and we will convert our angle from the range of 220 to 300, not 300, 310, and we will put it as 650 and 100. So this is the maximum value of our bar. No, the minimum value of our bar, and this is the maximum value of our bar. Because the OpenCV convention is opposite, so this is the minimum, this is the maximum. Okay, so why is not giving a space here? Okay. So then we need to create that rectangle. So here we can create that rectangle. We will copy this because we are lazy. We will copy it twice, and we will also put the text. Okay, so now we need to change the values here. So the starting will be 1100 and then 100. Then we have 1175 and we have 650. Then we have what do you call 1100 here, and then we have our bar value. So integer bar, not bad, bar, and then we have 1175 and then 650. So for the text we will have our percentage. So we will make a string and we will write here integer, and then we will write our percentage, and at the end we will write percent. So this we will display at 1175, and the size will be 4 and 4. Okay, so we can write here that this is for our bar. Draw bar, and let's say we write here show, or let's write draw curl count. Okay, so then let's try it out. There you go. But the bar value is not changing. What did we do wrong? Oh, so apparently the value of the bar is not changing because it is filled. Come on. So this should be, let's say 3, and let's try that. Yep. So it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. Now, one more thing we can do is when it reaches the 0 or the maximum position, we can change the color so that we know it's like when you reach a certain point and or you press a button, it changes color. So you kind of get a feedback. So it looks good. So that is the reason why we put an if within an if. So here we are going to write color is equals to, by default, we are going to write the color as purple. And if it reaches, we are going to change the color as green. So we will put the color as green. So 255 and 0. And the same thing we can do for our 0. If you want to change the color for 0, make it different than the other ones, you can do that too. But we are going to keep it like that. So here we are going to write, here color, and then here we are going to write color, and here we are going to write color. So all of them are same. So now it's green, purple, purple, green, purple, green, green. Yeah. So that's how you can tell if you have reached the correct point or not. So as you can see, it works very well. And again, if you want to use a webcam, you can simply enter the value or the ID number of your webcam, and it should run pretty much the same way. Just make sure that your face is visible within the camera, and you are at a good distance, because a lot of this depends on the face as well. So if you are not within the if your face is not in the camera, it will not detect properly. So that is pretty good. So I had a hard time finding these videos with bicep curls, so that's why I just had this one, but I will try to find some more. But yeah, so that is the idea. The error is because the video ends, that's why it gives this error. It's not something that we made a mistake here. So this is quite good, and you can see that how easy it is to create a virtual trainer, a personal trainer, which is based on AI. It will tell you how many push-ups or how many pull-ups or how many curls you have done, and it can also help you with the posture. Again, this was just one of the examples. You can take it much further, and you can do lots of different things with it. So I hope you do that, and do remember to share with me, tag me in the video wherever you have some output, wherever you create something new. I will be very glad to see what do you guys come up with. So this is it for today's video. I hope you have learned something new. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. A lot of you are watching the videos, but you haven't subscribed yet. So please do subscribe. And if you liked it, if you loved it, share it with your friends, help spread the knowledge, and I will see you in the next one.